How good are we at Miami? How really good is this team? Had we started the young guys and TBD earlier and ran our offense like we're running it now, how many wins is this team responsible for, do you guys think? And like I said, chat, give us your takes on that. How many wins you guys think we'd have that had we started the season probably how we should have started it. Now, don't get me wrong. King was absolutely the starter of the season to start the year, but it doesn't mean that we were running the right kind of play calling.
Yeah. So if you want my personal answer, I think we'd probably be a 2-loss team. This team isn't competitive with Alabama still, and then we probably lost to Michigan State as well. It's beating 2 ranked teams is awesome, but I think you also have to remember that it is Pitt and it is NC State, right? So we're going toe-to-toe with these guys. We're having nail-biters, close finishes. I think we all had higher expectations than, if someone said before the season, like, hey, you're going to be 2 points better than Pitt or 2 points better than NC State, I just wouldn't have been that happy with it, man. I think our roster is too talented for that.
And one thing we got to remember, too, is that this ACC conference is terrible this year. Guys are getting by beating some very bad teams and some very mediocre teams, which has elevated their standing in the top 25. So I never bought into the fact that NC State was that good. I did buy into the fact that Pitt was that good, though. I did, Jordan. I thought Pitt was a better team. I thought Pitt had a little more talent in the right places, and I thought Pitt was going to be better coached today. But I was wrong, dude. Did you have – I didn't get a chance to talk to you before this game, but what was your take before this game? What were you thinking might happen?
I was expecting a loss. I'm very impressed with especially how we came out of the game, came into the game. I mean, like we came into the game firing on all cylinders, creative play calling, Tyler Van Dyke dropping dimes.
Yes.
Jalen Knighton, just, his breakaway touchdown was electric. That's awesome. And honestly, I mean, that is the opposite of one of our big criticisms on Manny, right? Is that he doesn't show up to play good teams. So clearly today was a break from that. And we showed up firing on all cylinders and built the type of lead that, even when we started to struggle a little bit at the end, we were able to hold on. It was a weird game though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, how weird was that? Like the officiating was bad on both sides. And then that safety, I mean, that was pretty clearly a safety to me. But absolutely. That first Pitt touchdown was not a catch. There was a ton of holding penalties. It was just bad officiating all around, man. So just a funky game, a really funky game, honestly.
If TVD had been playing this whole season, do you think that they would be talking about him as one of the upstarts for the Heisman the following season?
Oh, yeah. I think you'll see people peppering him into the back of the first round in this offseason for mock drafts. I guarantee it.
Dude, some of these throws he's making are ridiculous. These are throws that are not exactly what you'd call standard quarterback throws. He's not just always sitting back, getting time and doing it. He's throwing off of his back foot. He's throwing 3/4 motion, and he's delivering dimes off of it. Yeah. That's what it takes this day in football to do it. If you look at guys in the NFL, throwing from multiple arm angles, being able to basically be versatile in multiple ways as a quarterback, that's the name of the game right now. TBD is throwing some absolute dimes, and the way he's playing makes me truly believe that this is the real TBD.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was highly touted coming in, right? And I mean, what were his scrimmage game numbers? Like 5 for 5 with 200 yards and 3 touchdowns or something like that?
Yeah, ridiculous.
So, I mean, it's not like, it's not like he's a former walk-on here. He's a highly touted, highly physically gifted, right? His measurables are prototypical. What is he, like 6'4", 6'5", something like that, 240 pounds. So, I mean, prototypical size. He has literally all the tools. I don't think any of us should be shocked. Maybe surprised that it's coming together early, but this is not – I mean, this is what we were hoping for. It's what we were expecting, right?
I mean, it's all you can ask for, isn't it? Can you ask for a young quarterback to come into the scenario that he came into at Miami with a head coach fighting for his job, with a dead offense, with a defense that couldn't tackle, but yet all of a sudden TBD coming in has given the entire team life. It's giving us purpose. It's giving us hope. That's how important the quarterback position is, guys. And we've been missing that, at least in terms of being able to run the full package of Lashley's offense. I will never discredit King. Never discredit King. But TBD is a better fit.
Well, I have a question. How likely is it that, I mean, remember the run it back stuff in the offseason?
Yeah.
How likely is it that Manny Diaz promised these guys starting roles? Promised them a certain amount of playing time, right?
Yeah.
Promised them, hey, your spot is safe. Like, come back and we're going to take care of your draft stock. You know, like, because, you know, someone brought up earlier that it was, you know, the question was asked, who would have wanted to start James Williams over Bubba against Alabama? And that's a fair question because the answer is nobody, right?
No.
But the fact that they weren't even getting into the rotation and that there was so much pushback to get them in the rotation is the red flag, in my opinion, right? It's that we couldn't even get them on the field. And now when they're getting their opportunity, they look so much better than the guys playing in front of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it, right? You can't always expect a guy to pop as an 18-year-old 3 games into his career, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to criticize Manny for not starting these guys in week 1, but at least pepper them into the rotation and let them shine. And then when they do start to shine, you got to act accordingly. Yep. I mean, it does. It's impossible to know, but it looks to me like it's probably a case of, you know, the seniority thing, or maybe that there was some promises made that Manny doesn't want to go back on.
There's an interesting comment here, Jordan. Carroll City Kane put this here. He said, damn, just like that, people give up on Garcia. It's the same shit with Perry. You pick King over him. What do you think about that statement? Do you think that we're looking past Garcia a little bit here?
I personally am not, right? Like I said earlier, Garcia is going to be special. I am already losing sleep over the thought of him potentially hitting the portal. I don't want to. No. I do not want to let Garcia go. I think he's special. I think he has a demeanor. I mean, the kid just he went from high school to high school winning games. Like, you want a quarterback with swagger like Jake Garcia, right? But how can you argue against what Tyler Van Dyke is doing on the field, right?
His numbers.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, this is the ultimate first world problem. We have 2 incredible A+ prospects at quarterback, right? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the argument. I'm a big Joe Burrow fan in the NFL, so I always get into these debates on Twitter. Who would you rather have, Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow? It's like, well, to start, they're both an A+,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And anything other than that is nitpicking, okay? And that's kind of what this is. So I am not out on Jake Garcia by any means, but Tyler Van Dyke has already proven that he is a tent pole. Now, if we have 2, awesome, cool. Like, let's try to take advantage of that. But, you know, like, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth, right? like Tyler Van Dyke is here. He's playing efficient. He's playing incredible. And he's showing that he has the stones that we've wanted in a QB for a long time. So, you know, it's first world problems, man. We're in a predicament, and it's a good predicament.